part of the team of the do's and don'ts is also a few little reminders about life lessons, how to conduct yourself. One of the most important things is team building. I told you earlier on that you are only as good as your team. So make sure you have a good team. First few weeks of the job, have a barbecue one weekend. Your house or anywhere else that you can arrange it. Maybe arrange a trip to a local sightseeing event. See if you've got enough people, get a minibus, take them there and let them look around. 9 times out of 10, the company will pay the bill for these things or give you one of the company minibuses. They're always interested in having good teams working for them as well. It makes the job go better. So always try and do that. Try to get the people interested. Let them know you're interested. Talk about sport. If you have a lot of Indian people working for you, talk about cricket. Every single Indian I've ever met absolutely loves cricket. So you can spend hours with them talking on cricket. Not during work time, of course. You do that after work. But at least then they know that you're interested. Show them you know a bit about their subject. Show them you know a little bit about their country and the culture. This is all good team building. They feel part of the team. They feel that they're equal to you. You're not some little person that sits at the top of the ladder and they never see, or all they hear is a big voice from above shouting at them. Be part of them. Very, very important. I mentioned before to always have an open door policy. Always be available to the people that need advice. Always try to give them the advice, help them. After all, if you're in a position, as I have been the last few times as a senior manager, you have managers working for you, deputy managers, lead engineers. They are all trying one day to be in your position. Help them. Give them a leg up if you can. Recommend them. If they leave that job because it's finished, write them a good recommendation they can take to their new employer. Tell their new employer that this is a good worker and he can do this and he can do that. It will pay dividends. Come back time after time to you. Always keep the door open. Told you this earlier. Let people know you're approachable. Be friendly with your people, but don't let them take advantage. Some people you will find you will be friendly and the next thing you know, they will start coming late. They will start having a day off. Oh, well, I'm his friend. I can do this. No. Start time, finish time. After that, friends. In the meantime, no. You're the boss. They're the worker or the engineer. They do what they're told. That has got to be very, very clearly laid down and understood by everybody.
I read once a nice book, and it's called The 21 Laws of Leadership. And there is one thing, it's really good to imagine what is your life sense, or do you have something like a life sentence? Something like that. To discover this is to think about, what do I want people tell me at my funeral? Yeah. What legacy I want to leave. So I think this is as well a good direction just to think about how you want to perform and what you want to leave here at the end.
As I've said, if you're friendly with people and if you look after the people, then they will say that's nice. They will say, oh, so-and-so died last week. Oh, really? What a shame. He was a good guy. If you don't do it the right way, then they will say, oh, so-and-so died last week. Oh, good. That's great. Get rid of him. You want to be the first case. Oh, that's a shame. What a nice guy he was. Not that they're glad that you've gone. Try to work with people. If you look at 2 sets of gears, for example, most of your engineers look at 2 sets of gears. If they're working together, things turn smoothly. If one is slightly out of step with the other one, it crunks, it groans, it bangs, it stops, it gets jammed. No, you don't want a team like that. You want a team that works smoothly, no problem at all. If you need to pour a little bit of oil on troubled water sometimes, do so. You have two people that don't get along together, and it will happen. Call them into the office, sit them down, and ask each one to explain what the problem is. Try to mediate. Try to be the friend of both of them. Let them see that you don't have any preference. They know that they are both equal in your eyes. This will help in a lot of cases.
That's a good point. But as well, there is a thing, you should treat each person like according their let's say personality, or as well.
Oh, yes.
For example, if you have a young commissioning engineer just graduated and somebody who is already working 30 years in the oil and gas industry, you have to treat them a little bit differently.
Yes, no, you're right. But the other thing to do in that case as well is to use their strengths.
Yeah.
If you find, you will probably find, especially nowadays, that the young engineer who's just graduated will have a far better idea of internet, of IT procedures, of how to make websites and how to make everything on the computer look great. The older guy probably won't be able to do that. Try to use them together. Try to give the young guy to help the older guy and explain that that's what you're doing. I'm giving you this young engineer to help you with the job. He can do a bit of the running around for you. But I also want you to teach him the job. I want you to tell him how you do things, tell him the best way to do it, tell him some of the pitfalls so he doesn't fall into them himself. Make him feel that he's like your son if you want. Make him feel he's part of your little team within the main team. It will pay dividends for you.
I think it's a good idea to have for young commissioning engineers somebody like a mentor. Yeah.
Yes. This is what a lot of companies will do, especially trainees. You get nowadays a lot of trainees coming in, and they're put with a commissioning team or an operations team as a trainee. They don't really have any responsibilities. They're there to learn, but they're willing and they want to learn. And at 5 years' time, you might meet the same man and he might be the plant manager. So it's a good idea. Go back to the basic point. Be polite. Be nice to people. Don't fight with everybody. If you're a good manager, you don't have to fight with anybody to get what you want. You tell them that that's what they need to do. And if you're a good manager, they will know that you mean it and that they will do it. Because they're not going to survive very long if they fight with you all the time, because they will suddenly find themselves on their way home. And they don't want that. This also you need to be strong with. If you have people, and you will get some, that are disruptive among the team, move them.
Yeah.
Send them somewhere else, send them home, bring somebody else in, because the last thing you need, it's like if you have a piece of metal or something sticking in your finger. It might only be very, very small, as one person in a team will be, but it will fester and fester and fester, and then it will cause you maybe one day to chop the finger off. Don't know. Don't let it happen. Do the remedial medicine. Be strong about it. You can be friends with people, yes, but you also have to let them know, as I've said, not to take advantage. You have to be strong. You have to say, well, I'm the boss, and that's the way it's going to be. You have two choices.